Hello, welcome everyone. It is 8/8. It is the Lions Gate portal. And in this episode, we are going to delve into the symbolism, the significance of the Lions Gate portal, exploring its impacts on our personal and collective journeys, how it's I've worked with it in the past. I love this time. It's also Leo season. It's about to be my birthday. So this is my vibe right now. This is where I'm in thrive mode. Whether you're new to Lionsgate or are an experienced seeker, spiritual practicer within the Lionsgate portal, we are going to explore it all and really provide some guidance on how to harness these powerful energies during this time. And of course, we have the astrology of the week. So you have joined Twitchy Tuesdays, where we are thriving live once per week to discuss the astrology. I've already got the tarot out and ready. I've got some mantra cards and just manifesting cards, because that's really what this week is a lot about. So we've got people out there on X. Welcome to the X family. We are streaming live also to YouTube as well as to Twitch. So no matter where you are joining us, make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe or follow, and throw any comments on there. We've got the live chat open, so I'll be watching for some chatters if you wanted to get in on the conversation. And then that's how you really just stay up to date with all of the astrology insights and future celestial forecasts. All right, I'm so excited. Let's get into it, because we got the Lionsgate portal today. I did not know when we were setting out to do Twitchy Tuesdays that this year was going to fall on 8/8 was going to fall on a Twitchy Tuesday. But of course, like all amazing things in this universe, synchronicities happen, and here we are. So I'm going to roll over the astrology for the week. We are going to really dive into this Lionsgate portal, talk about the different aspects around it, talk about the different areas around it. And then we will get into each of the aspects. We have, let me look, we have a total of 3 of them this week. So we'll get into each of those aspects and talk a little bit deeper about them. This is actually, I'm looking through my notes here. This is a pretty impact, pretty heavy Twitchy Tuesday. And we've got the tarot. I could tell you the tarot already it was like, start shuffling. We got things to say here. Bunch of 3s were coming out, bunch of different 3 cards. So ancestors present, thank you so much to our ancestors for being here and guiding this conversation. Okay, so astrology of the week, this is what it's going to look like. Today, we have the Lionsgate portal. Then tomorrow, we have Venus retrograde in Leo, which is going to square Uranus in Taurus. This is an ongoing conversation and not the last time we're going to have this conversation. That will be at 22 degrees, 55 minutes. And then on the same day, Mercury in Virgo will trine Jupiter in Taurus at 14 degrees, 32 minutes. Then we got 3 days. My birthday, 8/12, August 12th, has zero direct aspects in it. It is not until we get to the 13th where we have our last aspect of this week, closing out this week with the Sun in Leo conjunct Venus retrograde in Leo, 20 degrees, 28 minutes. That Venus Cazimi coming in strong. So we will talk about all of those in just a moment. This whole week, really, when I was, and I'm actually like, start shuffling. This whole week is really about how fire meets the earth. We have a lot of fire going on, and we have a lot of earth going on. And these 2 things, like how that's kind of this theme that I was working with this week, and how fire meets the earth, how fixed things support us, and how mutable things transform us. And those 2 different, ways of insight, looking into things, looking into how you're working with the energy, looking into how the energy is going on around you. Those are the 2 things that are really core to this week. How fire meets earth. What does that look like? How does your inner fire meet the grounding inside of what you do? And then how do the fixed areas of your life support you, and the mutable areas of your life transform you? And how can those conversations happen simultaneously, especially in a week where it is literally all fire and earth? Every sign is either in a fire sign, in an earth sign. It is either in a fixed sign or a mutable sign. Okay, let's talk about this Lionsgate portal. And yes, I'll be pulling tarot. The two, you can see them back here, the two decks for mantras, as well as the super attractor. We'll get to those at the end of the 8-8. Those will be our guiding direction for today and into this energy, which is going to last. You can play around with it 12 to the 16th. If you're going to do the real manifesting work of this portal, I would say to do it within the next couple of days. Really hone in on the energy, really get into the energy. So the Lionsgate portal, just to level set, is an energetic portal that is on an annual cycle. So this happens once a year. And it has been occurring and has literally bared witness to the cycles of Earth and us and everything else that is an energetic being on this Earth for a very, very, very long time. So this isn't something that is just a one time, oh, we gotta get into this energy and go. This is a continual cycle, a continual portal that you can tap into year after year. Again, I started working with the Lionsgate portal probably about 8 to 10 years ago now, and have seen how that portal has progressed for myself through my practice, through that yearly cycle, and just kind of taking notations on it. And there's wonderful, like highly encourage using YouTube for Lionsgate meditations that you can own in on, cleansing practices, all of those things are available out there. But to break it down into its parts, I want to talk about Sirius, what Sirius has to do with the Lionsgate portal, what the Egyptians have to do with it, the number 8, why it's on 8-8, why that is such a specific and energetic number that we need to be paying attention to, why it's in Leo season, and then the portal itself. So that's how I'm going to break this down. So first we'll start with Sirius. So the Lionsgate portal, the fixed star Sirius, or what is called the dog star found in Canis Major, is at 14 degrees of Cancer. That is where Sirius, which is our spiritual sun, double the size, figure huge, double the size of our sun in Earth's sun. This is really our spiritual sun. You can kind of think about it like Sirius is our 5D, our higher consciousness, where our sun is our 3D middle earth consciousness. So it is found at 14 degrees of Cancer. That's where it's in the dog star, or excuse me, in Canis Major. So that means that before we get to 8-8, the sun does its annual conjunction at 14 degrees of Cancer with Sirius. Then the sun moves on and we come to the 8-8 portal. So this Sirius star is bright. It is incredibly bright. It is pure, oh, hello. It is pure white. It is super vibrancy. It's a lot of like that pure cleansingness that white light provides. The other thing is during this portal, Sirius ends up rising on the eastern horizon, becoming visible. And Sirius then begins to align within Orion's belt. So Orion's belt is a constellation. You can find that up in the sky. And during this time, Sirius aligns with that part and becomes visible within the belt itself. Sirius then on 8-8 ends up bathing the earth because it is seen. We can see it. We can tangibly look and absorb. But Sirius then bathes us with these beautiful energies. It is a true infusion of purity, of cleansing, of strength. It's this upgrade, DNA energetic upgrade. Here we grow. And it really does help to purify our energetic bodies. Sirius then begins another year of bearing witness to our energy and how our energy continues to grow and develop. So where the Egyptians come in with this is Sirius is aligned with the goddess Saptet. And also, this is what the Great Pyramids may be one of the reasons. Obviously, we don't know why specifically, all of the reasons, but it might be one of the reasons why the Great Pyramids were built. Sirius actually on the exact moment will rise and then perfectly align with the point of the Great Pyramid. You can find images of this. You can, we've got all of the social medias of the world. You'll probably see astronomers posting about it, etc. So you can check out what that actual alignment looks like from an Egyptian perspective. So this time was really, really celebrated in ancient Egypt as a beginning part, like a signal almost, that a new start of farming is ready to occur. The starting of the Nile flooding is about ready to happen. It was a time in Egypt for prosperity, for fertility, for knowing that, okay, we've got another year here. We've got another year. This is again, it's that consistency piece, right? Like this is an annual cycle. It's consistency. It's going to rise. It's going to head over. The Nile will flood. We will have another season of farming for us available to feed ourselves, feed our family, feed our community. And then we hit number 8. So 8, why we align it with this day. 8, think about the number 8. First of all, the infinity symbol. It's a symbol of abundance, spiritual and material abundance. So it is both sides of the coin, if you will. It's power, but not only power in like you have the power, you understand your power, but also the power in your achievements, how you actually take that and bring that out into the world. Its number is aligned with perseverance, energy, the energy that you need to think about the 8 to climb the hill. So that way you can produce work that provides to your biggest blessings. You climb the hill, you persevere, you come back around, you get your blessings, you come back into stasis, you begin your work again to climb the next hill that you have. The 8 is also aligned with the planet Saturn. So again, Saturn is our gift giver in the work that we do. It wants us to have structure. It wants us to have work. It wants us to perform, to persevere, to do the things necessary to achieve our long-term goals. And it is through that work that we produce our biggest blessings. And then you have 8 being the symbol of prosperity. And again, 2 sides of the same coin. It's not just prosperity from a material perspective, from a financial perspective, but also from a spiritual perspective, having that prosperity of heart, prosperity of community, prosperity of XXX, fill in the blank. And we are in Leo season. And this is when we get this perfect alignment is always in Leo season. And there's a heat and an intensity right now with our own sun, especially if you're in the northern hemisphere. This is kind of like the last hoorah of summer before the sun, we start getting into some cooler weather. There's an intensity. The sun ends up being brighter. You can feel more heat. You can get burned. It tends to be one of the hotter months out here. If you are in the United States, like I am, it tends to always be one of the hotter months, or we'll have more days registered in that heat index. So this is where that, I heard this on another podcast and I loved it, that the dog days of summer, there's always purpose behind all of these little quips that we just think, oh, where did that come from? The dog days of summer, when Sirius shows itself, Sirius, the dog star in Canis Major, the dog days of summer, here we are. So let's talk about the portal itself, and then we'll get to the mantra cards. So the portal itself is a time to be inspired. It's a time for you to inspire yourself, inspire your own creativity, to create the life that you want. Be inspired to upgrade, to like that excitement of doing something new. It's diving into personal identity. It's diving into your own power. It's diving into these wonderful Leonine energies of being playful, being incredibly curious, and expressing joy in your life, and really allowing your inner child to come out and play. Because that's what Leo energy is truly all about. It's about connecting with that inner child, that sense of wonder, that sense of curiosity, that sense of playfulness, and bringing yourself back to, wow, I'm inspired. I want to go do things. I want to follow my curiosity. I want to go play a little bit. I want to make things happen, and I want to do it in a way that lights me up inside. And it is a time to review that. What does light you up? What is not lighting you up anymore? We had the 9 of Wands pop out. So kind of taking that assessment, right? Here's all of these wands, taking that assessment. Are all of these wands working for you? Are all of the wands exactly where you want them to be? Are they moving you in the right direction? Are they, do you need to ask for some of those to come into your present? Do you need to take some action, right? This card always reminds me of somebody that is like, guarding a perimeter. It's like, this is the perimeter, all of these other wands, all of these 8 other wands. That's the perimeter that you've set. These are the things that you're working on, and you're consistently going around that perimeter and just checking to make sure it's working correctly. There's no holes in it. You don't have somebody that's trying to come in and sideswipe it. It's this checking in with everything again. It's a great time to do that. And if there is something, because look, it almost feels like that other wand belongs right here, because there's a little bit of a bigger gap right here. If there is a gap in something that you want, this is the time to ask for it. This is the time to literally manifest it, ask for it, bring it out to the universe, bring it out to your ancestors, your guides, however you work. Ask for it. Ask for that gap to be filled. Ask for it to be coming into your presence, into your awareness. Maybe you don't know what you need yet. Ask for it. Hey, can you give me some direction on this? Please, thanks. Appreciate it. It's also, wait until you hear this, 3 of Swords. It's also about understanding that there are things that you can count on. Even if your past, 3 of Swords, might say differently. Even if the brain, this lovely, beautiful thing that we have up here, is trying to keep you safe. There are things that you can count on. It is through the practice of letting these past pains go, letting the past sit where the past needs to sit, tapping back into what makes you playful, curious, express joy. For a lot of us, when we were curious, when we were children, when we were playful, when we did express joy, a lot of that was shut down. That is okay. That is not your fault when you were a child that you were shut down. Those things were suppressed. Those things were driven swords into and created this thing that, you know, you're working with today and trying to work through and heal. That's not your fault. It is your responsibility to own your life today and to make choices today that lead you forward, that help you to thrive, that help you to grow, that help you to heal. It is your responsibility to acknowledge that there are some things, there are some of these swords here. There are some things that still hurt you, or still it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I can count on that. You can. You can count on it. You can let some of these things go. You can count on this, being able to count on it more and putting that into practice and beginning to heal some of those wounds allows you to create space to actually enjoy. When you get out of that cycle and that trigger pattern and you begin to be like, okay, actually, I tried it and I'm okay. I didn't die. This is great. Didn't die. Didn't have anything crazy happen. Okay, I think I can begin to enjoy this. It allows you to find that freedom. It allows you to find that freedom to be that person that, you know what, my younger self used to love to go in, the grocery aisles. And when a song came on, dance down the grocery aisles. There ain't no reason I can't do that today. I can find that vibe. I can find that playfulness. I can go out and be like, whoa, I don't know what that star is. True story. Walking today in the morning, saw a star right by the moon. I was like, maybe it's Venus. Totally said Venus at first. And then was like, I don't think that makes sense because Venus is doing her thing right now, retrograde. Went and looked, it was Jupiter. Curiosity. Follow that down. What that lit me up. I was like, dude, I saw Jupiter today on my walk. Woohoo, look at that. And now we're going to be talking about Jupiter, right? We've got Jupiter in the mix, I believe, today. Is that today? Yeah, Mercury and Virgo trine Jupiter and Taurus tomorrow. So it's like following that line of curiosity. It allows your heart to open more widely. So here are some things that you can count on. If this is new practice for you, if this is like, I'm still in that three of swords, here's some things that you can count on with this portal. Sirius. It's a fixed star. Comes around every year. It's here. We'll talk about this time next year, promise you. Leo, it's a fixed sign. You can count on Leo to be in that fixed mentality, to allow you to have that fixed space of safety to dive into those Leonine energies. The number 8, it's an infinity. It is fixed. It is an ebb and flow. It does not break. There is not one break in the number 8. The dog star, you can count on your dogs, right? Think about dogs. Typically, you can count on your dogs. And Leo, lions, males, especially male lions, are counted on. They are counted on for the survival of the pride. They are counted on for the survival of the whole family. These are all little areas that you can tap into and begin to count on. And then the other thing that I wanted to bring in was the solar plexus and heart chakra. So this is a great time to do solar plexus work. That's the seat of your power. That's where you can really dive in. And if you're already in this mode, already been working with the Lionsgate portal, and you're looking to just slam in and go for it, seat of your power. What does your power need right now? Cleanse it, work through it. Make sure that you've got that meditation on it, and then bring it up into the heart and allow that heart to shine forward. Because the heart is truly what Leo season is all about. This is a heart chakra. And allowing both of those to mix, where your heart is full, your heart is heavy, it's in love, it's in this bright, shining light. But that comes from this opening of, I'm okay to sit in my power. I can shine my brightest. My heart has the ability to shine my brightest when I am fully seated, when I am fully grounded in who I am. This is why the chakras go up in line. They all work together. And then really the biggest message for this portal is always go for creation. Always go for the creation. Go for the big ones. 6 of Pentacles. Go for whatever these are. Go for that creation. You didn't get to the 6 of Pentacles. You didn't get to this balance, right? This is giving me that Libra vibes that we're going to be heading. We've got Virgo season where we can really structure these pentacles, really structure what that is. But it first starts with your curiosity. It first starts at this moment where, I've got this idea. And I'm really super curious to see how it goes. I'm really excited about it. Virgo can help you do that work to structure it correctly. And then we get into Libra season and we get to balance it. We get to balance it not only for ourselves, but maybe it is that part about giving out to others, right? Maybe this project, what lights you up inside, is not just about you, but will affect other people around you, whether that's your family, whether that's a community, whatever that looks like. This is where it all starts. This is where it all starts. Portals are great starting points for these sorts of things. Okay, I've got 2 different cards. What do we have here? So this is in the description box, which for those on for those on X, I will put that underneath this once we are done here today. But if you are on YouTube or Twitch, it is in the description box. We have the Super Attractor Gabrielle Bernstein card. And then our second is the Healing Mantra deck. So we will get one of each that can help align for this Lionsgate portal as you're working with this energy over the next couple of days. You can really use it to just hone in and support. Okay, so we're going to do the Super Attractor first. So on this Lionsgate portal, what is your guidance, ancestors? What is the guidance that you have for us on this Lionsgate portal to attract abundance and prosperity? Thank you. Ooh, all right. So I love these cards because they come with this little like mantra, both of them do. So you can really, as you're meditating or as you're journaling, you can write down these mantras and say them over and over and really hone that energy. So this mantra is, I am in awe of the magnificent guidance that is available to me. I am in awe of the magnificent guidance that is available to me. All you got to do is ask. It's there for you. So that can mean a lot about, again, asking for, we talked about it. It may not even be asking anybody in particular, but just asking out there. Hey, hi Lionsgate portal. Hey, ancestors, guides, spirits. Can you help me out? Can you give me direction? Can you put things in my place? Allow me, again, another thing with asking for help, especially in the spirit realm, is also having the discernment to understand when that help comes and understand in the form of what that comes. Because it could come in music. It could come in signs on, I've seen that come in random emails. There's been things like boards, billboards. I've heard of those coming on. That's a sign. So also it's not just about the guidance that's available to you, but then understanding how you know when that guidance is there and how you know to follow it. So that can be that kind of little added extra on there. And then the healing mantra cards. What is our mantra for this Lionsgate portal, ancestors? What is the guidance and healing mantra for this Lionsgate portal energy? Thank you. Liberating love. I love that. Liberating love. I allow myself to receive all the fulfillment I'm willing to give. That reminds me so much of the 8, right? This give and receive, the 2 sides of everything. I allow myself to receive all the fulfillment I am willing to give. So there's this reciprocity is the word that is coming to me right now. There's this reciprocity. And again, that's also kind of in here too, right? Are you willing to give yourself over to spirit? Are you willing to give yourself over to your inner child? Are you willing to give yourself over to faith and the things that maybe, again, working through that 3 of Swords, but it's within that gift of giving that you receive. And it's within the gift of receiving that you get to give. And it's this consistent, again, the 8, the infinity. It's that consistent ebb and flow. Beautiful. Thank you for the messages. I'll put these here. All right. Now let's dive in to the astrology. Let me check the chat real quick. If anybody has any questions or wants anything, the chat is up and live. You can pop anything in there, but we are moving on to 8-9. So this is tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Venus retrograde Leo, square Uranus and Taurus at 22 degrees, 55 minutes. We also have Mercury in Virgo, trining Jupiter in Taurus at 14 degrees, 32 minutes. So I am actually going to combine this Venus retrograde Leo, Uranus Taurus story with what is happening on the 13th, which is the Sun in Leo conjuncting Venus retrograde in Leo at 20 degrees, 28 minutes. I am going to combine both of those together because it is part of the larger Venus retrograde story that we have been working with. So, and we'll work through all of that. Then we'll come back and talk through Mercury in Virgo, trining Jupiter in Taurus. And then that will be our Twitchy Tuesdays. Okay, so this Venus retrograde story, first off, comment it out, put it in the chat, put it in the comments afterwards. If you are on replay, hit me up on X. How has this Venus retrograde been going for you? What sort of themes have we been working with? I can tell you for me, very, very clear money. Money has been a very clear theme throughout Venus's ingress into Leo. Again, Leo sun. Leo is in my second house. So Venus has been really working on the money, the security portion of everything, working to clean all of that up. She's also definitely been working on like, what is next after? What do you want to look like? What do you want to feel like? What do you want, like those sensory perception things, the sight, smell, feel, like how, what types of scents do you want around you? What types of clothes do you want to wear? Those sorts of things. I've been really seeing those pop up into my mindset. So that's how Venus retrograde's been working with me at this time. Let me know what's coming up for you. I'd love to hear about it. And what's happening this week with Venus retrograde will truly blend into this Leo new moon that's going to happen on 8/16. So we just had the Aquarius full moon. That was last Twitchy Tuesday. We talked about it. That was number 1, 8/1. And that is a far larger part of a story. That is, now we're here. The next week, we've got Venus. And then the following week after that, which we will talk about next Twitchy Tuesday, we have this Leo new moon, 8/16. So this conversation with Uranus and this Cazimi totally moves into this Leo new moon, which then blends with the whole story of August. And if you didn't catch me last week, August, its signature for this August is the trip was far less pleasant than the destination. And that is as we are building our Q3 overview, energy overview of new foundations. So this is, again, August is one of those months. I said it last week. We had 3 Death came out. The 5 of Cups, and what do we have? The Emperor came out. August is one of those months, like just this death is just staring us right in the face, right? It's one of those months that everything ties together. There's not one aspect here. There's not one thing that happens in August that isn't, and I mean, really, I guess you could say this about every month, but there is this potency, right? Here's death. There's this potency. There's this vibrancy. Look at this white rose right here, right? There's something in this month that is so tied together with every aspect that happens this month, with everything that transitions in this month from our 2 full moons, both super moons, this bookend where there's a lot of containment in this month. There's a lot, I'm going to pull out this 5 of Cups. There's a lot that's contained in August, these 2 cups just chilling, sitting here. And if we're not careful, we're only going to see these 3. We're only going to see this death just sitting in the corner somewhere. Where if we look at it as this progress story, if we look at it as, okay, I know that this trip is going to suck. I'm going into that full prepared, but I know the destination is going to be sweet. Oh, this one, Emperor. I know that this destination is going to be bad AF, and this is where I want to go. And I know it's going to suck to get there. I think about it like starting a new workout regimen, right? Yeah, it's going to suck lifting 30 pounds, 30-pound dumbbells until it doesn't suck anymore. It's going to suck until it doesn't suck anymore. That's just the end of the story. That trip, you love what you get out of this, right? Like look at this Emperor right here. He may have a white beard, but this dude's got a 6-pack. He is well-defined Emperor right here. And he is the destination. You'll love what happens at the destination. You'll love the new foundations you're building, but fuck. This one. Oh my gosh. This one. Oh my goodness. How many times? That was like the 5th time. This one. This is the fuck it sucks. This is it right here. This is the journey. Okay, let me put those away before I continue to just pop cards. All right. Obviously, the Emperor is like, no, you're seeing me because you've got to remember the destination. You have to remember what is at the end of this. This is why we're talking about Venus right now. This is why Venus had her whole thing last year in Capricorn. This is why Venus's journey has been. This is why Mars's journey through the gigantic amount of months that he was in Gemini. This is why we talked about all of that throughout this whole year, getting very clear on our values. That's why the Emperor kept wanting to show itself, because it's don't forget your why. Don't forget your why. Don't forget your values. Don't forget what you're doing this for. So a Venus retrograde in Leo story is absolutely developing. It's been developing. We've been having these conversations. You possibly having a lot of conversations coming at you very quickly. Like I said, my Venus retrograde themes in Leo have been very clear. I've seen them multiple times come through. And for some of us, it could be just like bullet after bullet after bullet, wand after wand after wand after wand, and it doesn't seem to be stopping. She is coming to her Cazimi on the 13th. This is where she will conjunct the sun. And this is where the story hits its apex. This is where we may not get, it's almost like the journey is not as pleasant as the destination. You got to get through the minefield. You got to get through all of these wands coming at you and just like smacking into you over and over. But once we hit this conjunction on the 13th, this story has now apexed. We are now at the peak of this story. And now the story gets to go towards its conclusion. This conjunction, the Cazimi, means that she is halfway done on her retrograde story. Venus will now begin to come out of the underworld. She is visiting her husband. She gets to come out of the underworld and join us back on Earth, join her mother back on Earth, begin to kind of feel that earthy vibrancy again, versus that like Venus in the underworld, right? Where we haven't had sunshine on us. We've kind of been in the midst of things. We've been in the deep dark of things. And you may find you now understand through this either square with Uranus, but especially after the conjunct with the sun, if you don't know what those wands are, or you're really not like sure about how Venus is working with you, you may gain greater clarity, or you may gain more insight into, I get it now. I get why that happened now. Okay, I got it. I see you, Venus. I'm here. Let's see. Oh, the other thing that's really great about this is there could be potential solutions now coming up, right? So after that conjunction with the sun, after she's kind of cleansed and purified, she now knows where she's going, right? She's working her way back up to Earth. She's like, what am I going to do when I get there? Oh my God, I can do all these things when I get there. This is wonderful. Here's some solutions. You're welcome. So it's really, these next couple of days is really getting into the essence of what this retrograde is doing for you, of what is happening, not just as an individual, but maybe even looking at that collectively overall. It's really just like getting into the understanding. But before we can do any of that, we have to make it through Uranus. And that happens tomorrow. And that is a square. And this is the second of 3. So one happened on 7/2. So if you keep, we've got a lovely honeycomb here. If you keep a astrology journal, a journal period, go back to 7/2, look at that, kind of interpret, hey, what happened on this first square to Uranus when she was still direct? What happened there? How did it go for me? What were some themes that came up? Now you get the middle part of this story. And then on 9/29, she will meet up in one more square with Uranus. And that is that completion of that story. So if there wasn't really anything on 7/2, this could bring some light into something at this middle part, and then finding that conclusion on 9/29. And it was interesting because when I thought about this square to Uranus, this is the question that came up. What is the difference between joy, 7 of Wands, pleasure? Let's see what comes out for pleasure. Oh, one card, please. Thank you. The Death again. And satisfaction. Judgment. Ooh. Well, okay then. So what is the difference between joy, pleasure, and satisfaction? And that might be very different for each of us. But it is a good question to ask and to ponder on, especially during Venus retrograde, especially in these squares with Uranus. Like, what is your concept of joy? And out came the 7 of Wands. What is your concept of joy? What do you work towards? Is joy work for you? If so, how does that happen? The immediate thing that I got with this card was not like joy. Oh, joy comes from the work. That was the immediate, when this fell, that was the immediate message in my head. Joy comes from the work. What work are you doing that's bringing you joy? What brings that to you? All of these wands symbolize something. They symbolize something for you. So what is that? And then how do you cultivate more of it? How can you use Uranus to shake up the things that you don't need anymore and get more of the things that you do? Get more of the things that cultivate that joy in your life. Then you have pleasure, death. What does this mean for you? What is your concept of pleasure? And what brings you pleasure? Are there things in your life that are bringing you pleasure that you need to get rid of because they don't align? They don't, what's the word I want? Fertilize. Whew, that was a word. They don't fertilize the rose garden that you're in, they're not fertilizing your roses correctly. You're struggling to bloom. You're struggling to thrive in this area with the pleasures that you have. Are there pleasures that you let go of that you need to incorporate back because now you're in a better place and in a better situation to do that? Are there, especially, again, Venus retro, think about Venus. She rules Taurus and Libra. Relationships, money and security. Pretty simple. And it's brass tacks, super simple, right? So what are some of the material pleasures, the community pleasures that you are in? Do they bring you joy? Do they bring you pleasure? Do you need to do something else? And then we have satisfaction, right? And I love that Judgment came up here. I love that Gabriel is blowing his horn here. I love that it's like this. How do you know that you're satisfied? Like, look at these three in this boat look happy, satisfied with the direction, satisfied going back to the portal, satisfied with allowing spirit to take. It's like, it's Carrie Underwood. Jesus, take the wheel. Satisfied with where they're at in their spiritual, mental, physical, allowing faith to take hold, allowing the winds to blow them, allowing their curiosity to be there. They didn't get in this boat just to get in this boat, right? There was purpose behind getting in this boat. At least let's assume that. So what does the concept of satisfaction mean to you, and how does it play together with joy and pleasure? And how do you cultivate more of all three of those things? Or if you're one that you feel all three are the same, then how do you cultivate the same thing and doing it over and over and over again? So the square to Uranus may show you where, going back to that death card, where you've been prioritizing your desires inaccurately. It could show you a completely new way to prioritize those things. Part of this journey for some may be understanding that you can't be all things to all people and to yourself all of the time. I'm going to repeat that because this was a big message. Part of the journey for some during this Venus retrograde in Leo might be understanding, owning, getting death, bringing death to this concept that we have to be all things to all people and to ourselves all of the time. We don't. Not even a little bit. Not even like this much. We do not. And it may be that shift of concept that Venus retrograde in Leo, and especially as Uranus shakes it up and shows that to you, might be working with. It also, this square may be showing you where you're settling, where you are not seated in that power, seated in your solar plexus, leading through your heart, finding that curiosity, getting into that child's play. It may also show just where you are stagnant. That goes back to me with that 5 of Cups, where you are stagnant and just letting that, the wine that was in the cups just like fermentate. Fermentate? I don't even know if that's a word. We're going to go with it. That's what came out of the mouth. So like ferment. There we go. Ferment all of that. This whole week is really a wonderful, wonderful week to do a deep reflection. The moon came out. Deep reflection, the 8 of Cups, another moon, another reflection card. And we have the 4 of Pentacles. A wonderful week to do a deep reflection on what you are excited about. That's Venus's area, right? What you're excited about, what tickles that curiosity, Leo, what tickles that inner child and wonder, what you're attracted to, also a very Leonine, very Venus thing, what types of experiences you want to have in the time that we all have left here. What are the things that you want to create? Great time to reflect on that. sit with yourself, think about it, journal about it, do some things with that, take advantage of this energy, because again, this is your trip here. And contrary to popular belief, we will not live forever. One day this is going to be done. One day we'll transition. And that's okay. So if you know that, what do you want to do with the time you have left? What do you want more of? What do you want less of? Where are you settling? Where you should be pushing? Where are you pushing? Where you should be settling? And really, what is your true desire? What is your greatest desire? And when I wrote that down, I could not help but see, I love the show Lucifer. I think it's a great show. I don't know about the last season or anything, but like that first initial, maybe even first 2 seasons, I loved how he always played with that concept of desire, right? What is your true desire? And what people say out loud when anybody else would ask them was very different than what Lucifer got them to admit, because that was their true desire. Get down to that true desire, the one that's deep inside. Okay. I am hearing to pull 2 more of the, well, 1 more of each of the healing mantra, as well as the super attractor for Venus retrograde. So we still got a little bit more than halfway to go, right? Her Kazemi doesn't happen till the 13th. So let's pull a super attractor spirit. What is your guidance for the second half of Venus retrograde in Leo for the collective ancestors? What is your guidance card? Thank you. All right, guidance card. Where'd that go? To begin the practice of allowing, I must get out of the way and get, and let spirit give me direction. Stop. Yeah, to begin the practice of allowing, I must get out of the way and let spirit give me direction. Thank you, ancestors. Absolutely heard. All right, let's get a healing mantra card. What is the healing mantra card for the second half of Venus retrograde and Leos? Ancestors, what is the message that you would like? Not 5 messages. What is the 1 message you would like to share? Thank you. Okay. Inspiring others. I help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts. For some of us, that could be giving, that gift of giving, the gift of giving back, the gift of opening, the gift of seeing, the gift of acknowledging, that acknowledgement. It's almost, it's this, I'm looking at these as very 2 separate. I feel like these are messages for different groups of people, not the same message for everyone, but more so the one that aligns with you was the message that you needed to hear. Okay, Mercury in Virgo trining Jupiter in Taurus at 14 degrees, 32 minutes. That's the other direct aspect on the 9th that we're going to talk through. And we gotta do some acknowledgement first. Mercury is demanding some acknowledgement, and as a mercurial ruled individual, it's necessary. So let us first acknowledge the fact that Mercury is in a sign, Virgo, that is opposite to Pisces, where Saturn and Neptune are co-present. We just got to acknowledge that Virgo Pisces access is there. Mercury is here. We're about ready to have the sun here. Mars has been here. Like, this access has been getting lit up and will continue to get lit up. Venus is going to make her way here at the end of the year. So no matter what happens or what Mercury is doing for his extended time in Virgo, because he is retrograding here. So he will be spending a lot of time in Virgo. I'm very excited about this. And we will get more to that when he stations retrograde, and through his journey, we will absolutely talk about all of that here. But what we have to understand is no matter what happens, no matter what he does in Virgo, the energy of Pisces, the energy of Saturn, and the energy of Neptune are creating a hydrosphere around it. That is, no matter what, there will be an influence. There will be a hydrosphere, an influence of Pisces, Saturn, and Neptune. So this time that he is trining Jupiter in Taurus, Mercury and Jupiter, both in earth signs, a mutable, flexible meetup, right? We talked about that already. Those were our two words to start the show. Whole week, how fire meets earth and how fixed things support us and mutable things transform us. So there is that mutable fixed component here. This is the first of 3 meetups with Jupiter. So remember when we talked about Uranus and Venus? This is going to be happening with Mercury and Jupiter across this Virgo transit that Mercury is going to be doing. So with these 3 meetups with Jupiter, this is one of those, if you, again, little honeycomb plug, if you have a honeycomb or you have a journal and you use it, this could be that point where you, oh, okay, let me see what comes up on the 9th. Let me see how this Mercury and Jupiter are working with me. Now on 8-9, the first meetup, Mars is going to be co-present in Virgo. So we do have not only Mercury, but Mars energy. They are both direct, both Jupiter and Mercury, as well as Mars. And the moon is in Gemini, which Mercury also rules. So there's some good happening on 8-9. This is some good working energy on 8-9. On 9-4, when they meet up the second time, Jupiter will station retrograde literally right after this. So he is in a state of, he's in a stasis. He is in pause. He is in like floating mode, right? Like he's in one of those pods for I keep getting the word decompression chamber. That's what I'm getting. Like that's where Jupiter is at. Mercury is retrograde at that time, and the moon is in Taurus, which is where Jupiter is. So we've got that going on in the second one. Then the last time that they meet up is on 9/25. So that will be the accumulation of this story. Mercury is not retrograde, but Jupiter still is. And the moon is in Aquarius. So there's this real flip-flop component to this meetup and this transit between Mercury and Jupiter. And so again, now you know, start looking at it. Start journaling about it, start understanding it, start interpreting it, and how it shows up for you, or how it may show up for those around you or for the collective at large. So how do we seek clarity with this Virgo Pisces thing we got going on right now? How do we seek clarity with Neptune and Saturn in Pisces? How do we reconcile what our reality is? How do we do that? How do we choose to identify what our reality is and work to better it? And how do we expand beyond all of our limits? That is the Virgo Pisces access questions. Mercury is going to be looking at those answers, helping us determine, discern, helping us analyze some of those things. So let me do a couple of those again. How do we reconcile what our reality is? How do we choose to identify our reality and then work to better it? How do we expand beyond our limits? And this is where I think that the Mars conversation with the Mars as warrior, his transit through Gemini really comes in clutch. And now like Mercury is here to help that conversation, to help that warrior also gain strength of mind when things aren't exactly clear. I have the Fool, and we have the Six of Pentacles coming out again. We also had the World drop. We had the Page of Cups. Man, if this is not Pisces, like this is giving me all of that early first decan Pisces vibes, right? Where Saturn's at right now, this first decan Pisces. We have the 10 of Wands, and here's the thing with the 10 of Wands, y'all. Like, this card is giving me so like clutching constraint energy. It's not like, this is not like coming in clutch. This is not this. This is like holding on for dear fucking life to all the things. This is that side of Virgo that's analysis paralysis. This is that side of as the world turns. Anybody else remember watching that show with like, look, I watched that show with my great auntie, and like, she's an ancestor now. Bye bye, need to know, Auntie Mary, and General Hospital and stuff. But as the world turns, right, as things are moving along, as these planets and as this 8-9-9-4-9-25, as this Mercury Jupiter conversation happens, yeah, we've got this Page of Cups. Having a good time, betting on the wrong things, moving things around, talking about reality. What is reality? Please, I got a fish in my cup. What do you mean? What is reality? Hello, Saturn in Pisces. And this is just the heavy load, the heavy lifting, the heaviness of Mercury really wants to answer these questions. Mercury really wants to do all of this. Shit. This could be Jupiter giving you all of the wands, giving you all of the things. And Mercury's like, I don't know if I can lift this right now. Like, I truly, the image that came to me, and I hope everybody has seen this meme. We've still got a couple more cards here. I hope everybody has seen this meme. There's a meme out there where it's someone that's trying to mop the beach. I don't know if anybody else has seen that. I love it. So Virgo Pisces access. So Saturn, Neptune in Pisces, Mercury, Mars up in Virgo, Sun coming to Virgo, Venus coming to Virgo near you. So much of that access is like somebody trying to mop this beach and getting it done. Fool's journey, right? Fool's journey to try and mop up the beach. And then we also had the King of Pentacles, and we have the Six of Pentacles here. I am going back to, I'm going to hold these. I've got another analogy that I wanted to share. And then this comes in afterwards, because this, hold on, all of this goes right back to August. This goes right back to August. This is the journey. This is the journey. This is the journey we got to do, where these two are much more the destination. So one of my favorite Disney movies, I should say, I have a lot of them. Most of them are my favorite, the old school ones. But Fantasia, 1940. Fantasia is fabulous. The Sorcerer's Apprentice, that whole segment in Fantasia of the Sorcerer's Apprentice, I'm getting goosebumps, dripping in symbolism, dripping in archetypal symbolism. Beautiful classical music, amazing, animation. If you have not seen Fantasia, you should absolutely watch the whole thing. But you can find little clips of the Sorcerer's Apprentice on YouTube. Watch the Sorcerer's Apprentice, because it is Virgo Pisces access. It is this story in particular to the T. So Mickey Mouse is a sorcerer's apprentice, and the sorcerer reminds me of Merlin. He's got like the long beard, the blue robes, the blue pointy hat. And as the apprentice, Mickey has to carry buckets of water and clean and do all of these other chores and these other tasks. And it's this menial work, right? It's the menial, going back to the 8 of Wands that we had. It's that menial work, the work that sucks. It's the journey that sucks to get there. But once you're an apprentice, it's kind of all worth it. So he decides, because the sorcerer leaves, he decides to use some of his undeveloped magic. Fool card, not Mickey as a fool, but he decides to use some of his undeveloped magic and bewitch a broom to help him. So now the broom is going upstairs, getting water, bringing it back down, putting it in the well downstairs. And he is just literally like pleased as peach pie at himself. Page of Cups. He is so effing happy with what he did. He's like, yeah, I'm badass. This is great. Why didn't I think about this before? So as he's like basking in his glory, right? Watching his little manifestations come to life, he falls asleep. And then shit gets out of control, which is where I think like the Fool and this 10 of Wands, right, come into play. Things get out of control. He learns a beautiful lesson in all of this. And the lesson, like, just please watch it. The lesson is, where are you cutting corners? Where are you cutting corners on your journey? Where are you cutting corners that you could have had the King of Pentacles? Mickey could have gotten closer to being an apprentice. Would he have just Saturned, done the fucking work, right? But instead now he has to settle for a 6 of Wands because clearly he's not ready yet. Where are you cutting corners? Just because Saturn is in Pisces does not mean that Saturn's archetype changes. Do the work, gain the reward from the work, but you gotta do the work. Fun fact as well, in 1940, Jupiter and Uranus were both in Taurus, just like today. And Venus actually was doing her retrograde Cancer Gemini, but I thought it was really, really cool that Jupiter and Uranus were both in Taurus during 1940 when that was made as well. So some more kind of like archetypal signatures. But overall, with the King of Pentacles here and the 6 of Pentacles, make sure the work you are doing makes sense. All right, that is where we are at. They say reading done. That is where they are at. I did have this quote from Nina at Moon Omens. If you have not heard of Moon Omens or don't follow them or subscribe to their email list, highly recommend. They send out a wonderful email daily with the daily mantra for the day, essentially like a daily thing to hone in on, an energy signature. But Nina from Moon Omens, which is one of their astrologers, wrote this really beautiful write-up about August. And I want to just read one of the quotes that she had in here because I think this can also be more messages. I was really called to read this. So I'm going to read this piece and then we will clear space and get out of here. All right. So Nina from Moon Omens, and I'm quoting this. This is about August. The whole month is like a walk with candlelight through our inner chambers, where we explore and experience ourselves in a way we haven't seen or felt yet. We are walking through our inner corridors, discovering and rediscovering our uniqueness, our ingenuity, our originality, but also our weaknesses, our blind spots, our addictions, and our escapism tools. We are faced with our subconscious fears that block us from experiencing joy and pleasure of life. We are facing our guilty conscience and guilt patterns that are preventing us from living a life worth living. This is a time to dare to be spontaneous, to dare to surrender and to dare to care and share. We are reevaluating who we are, and we are reviewing and reassessing our love, our values, and our relationships. August brings deep reprogramming potential so that we can realize that all that is happening to us in our individual and collective lives is there to put us back on track. Trust, forgiveness, and surrender are all the keys for what we're looking for. And this month, we may unlock some of our most ancient memories of who we truly are and what we are here for. Thank you, Nina from Moon Omens, for that. That was so beautiful and so poignant. I wanted to bring it in here. So thank you, everybody. We are headed to clear space now, and then we out. So clearing space. First of all, if you have joined me from Twitter or joined me from X, get in there. You have joined me from X. Thank you so much. It has been a goal for a hot minute now. It's been it's definitely been in my honeycomb book as a goal every quarter, getting more content to X. I love this platform. I'm really excited to take this journey. I'm really happy to start it in Leo season and in the month of August, my birthday month and beyond. So let me know how the stream turned out. If you are on X, leave it in comments. Make sure to follow me, whether you are on X, YouTube, and or Twitch. All three platforms, just make sure that you are hitting that subscribe or follow button when you go there, and also sharing content. If you found value in it, this is how we build community. You share it out with your network and see if anybody else might also find value to it. August is fully scheduled. We will be here every Tuesday. I am actually going to have to move. I will be traveling August 22nd. So I will be moving that Twitchy Tuesday to sometime either that previous Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. So the 19th, 20th, or 21st. If you follow and subscribe, you won't miss it because you will get notified when I go live. So I'll kind of get that date down and get it out there. But again, if you hit that notify me, you will know. And if you dig music and want specially curated playlists of songs to just vibe to, you want to check out Apple Music. I have a Venus retrograde playlist. I have a Saturn return playlist. I've got all kinds of goodies on there. And in fact, I have been on X posting every day my intention of the day that I worked with during my yoga practice. I've also been posting my vibe of the day, the song that kind of kicked off my morning and kicked off my day. I'm going to be compiling all of those into an August playlist as well, celebrating hashtag 40 and Align, turning 40 on Saturday. So you can definitely find all of that at Apple Music. My tag is Habitual Sages. If you are on any of the social platforms, you can click on my website and all of the information is there. Thank you so much for joining me on this 8/8 Lionsgate portal, and I will see everyone next week. Bye.